So we'll go ahead and get started. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Trevor Lecca. I'm Dubsado's Customer Education Specialist. In today's webinar, we're going to be talking about testimonials, specifically testimonials that will help you convert more clients. They're going to help you get glowing reviews up on your websites or social media to help you attract more of your business. And it's a really important topic that I think a lot of small business owners, when you're first getting going, is probably not something that you're primarily thinking about. But once you've gotten the ball rolling, you really want to make sure you're able to get some good testimonials out there to help other clients, future clients, see how good your business and services are so you can attract more of that. And today's speaker, Angela Munoz, is a fantastic person to come on and talk about that. She's got 14 plus years of business experience running her own business that served high-end clientele. And she's also been a Dubsado certified specialist for 4+ years. So she's going to come on, and I cannot wait to see what tips and tricks she has for us talking about testimonials. Let's go ahead and bring Angela Munoz on.
Hello, everyone. How are we? It is so nice to be here today. I'm glad that you took some time out of your day to share it with us. Let's see. Okay, Trevor,
yes.
Do I have the green light to go ahead and I'll just jump right in to sharing my screen?
I think you're good to go. Yeah,
definitely. So everybody can hear me and see me. Okay.
I can hear and see you just fine. I think you're good to
Let
go.
me know.
I'll hop back in whenever we need to, okay?
All right. Thanks for the intro, Trevor.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can everybody, Trevor, can you let me know if you can hear this okay or see this? Since I can't see. Maybe.
Yep, it's all good.
Okay, perfect.
I put it in chat and then I was like, oh, she can't see chat, so no worries.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you everybody again for joining today. We're going to be talking about testimonials that convert, how to ask for, receive, and share glowing reviews. Again, I'm Angela, and I am the founder of Angela Munoz Co., where I provide Dubsado services and templates. As Trevor mentioned, I've been a small business owner since 2010. I've been a certified Dubsado specialist and a Dub Plus certified specialist. So it's a code form design software since 2021. I have served over 100 different entrepreneurs in 20 industries and 5 countries at this point and counting. And I live in Fort Worth, Texas with my husband, 2 human kiddos, and my 14-year-old rescue fur child. And like you all were talking about, I live in Texas, so it is just finally cooling down. It was a brisk 65 this morning, but by this afternoon, I'm sure it'll be in the 90s. So excited for fall to be here. First things first, a little homework. Put away distractions. You attended for a reason. So grab a coffee, notebook, pen, and start getting your screenshot fingers ready to take some actionable takeaways. Stick around till the end. I'm a goodies kind of girl, so we have some goodies for you. And then make sure, again, if you're screenshotting, make sure to tag me and come and say hello in the DMs. A few overviews of what we're going to be covering today. One is how to ask for those reviews without feeling awkward, the best timing, and making it super simple for you and your clients. Prompts for collecting and sharing the type of testimonials that are going to attract those dreamy clients. And then 3 examples and templates to get you started straight away. So I first want to know, and Trevor, you might need to come on and see this. I would love to know which closely resembles how you're approaching reviews in your business right now. So A, I always send review requests. Yay. B, I only send the request if I want a review from that client. I know we've all been there. There's that one client you don't really want to get a review from and what they have to say. C, I mostly forget to send the request. D, I don't send the request because I feel awkward. Or E, something else. Let me know in the chat.
All right. Sydney's got an A. So Sydney's on the ball. She's always sending review requests. We love that.
I love it.
Well done, Sydney. Sarah says C, D, and E. I think a lot of folks are probably in that boat where it's a little bit all over the place, maybe. Angel's got a D. Allison's got a B. We've got a pretty wide range here, Angela, coming in. I see. Okay. Good number of C's here. 2 more C's get dropped in somewhere in the middle. All right.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think we've got a lot of folks who are probably somewhere in the B to E range, right? I know that's a pretty wide range, but sounds to me like
Okay,
they're in the
that's
right place.
totally normal. I was going to say this is something I talk with in extensive amounts with every single client that I work with. So you are not alone in that. And that is why we're here today.
Exactly right.
Okay, thank you so much, Trevor. Okay, so as you know, the benefits of testimonials are longstanding. There's multiple different reasons that utilizing testimonials in your business is going to help you grow. It helps build trust and credibility. It creates that emotional and personal connection with your potential clients. It works like and promotes referrals. It's free and reusable marketing, and it helps you grow and improve your business. Here's a few powerful stats you should know about the power of using testimonials. 92% read online reviews to make purchasing decisions. 95% say that reviews influence their purchasing decisions. 63% that they are more likely to purchase from a site if it has reviews. And 72% say that they trust a business more after reading positive reviews. And I don't have this in here, but Trevor, if you wouldn't mind popping back on, I would love to know if everybody in this audience, if you've ever made a decision purely based on a review, whether it was a good review or a bad review that you read about somebody. Somebody, restaurant, could be anything, solution, product.
I'm sure we all have, honestly.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so you know.
Yeah, Lee says yes in all caps. So a lot of all caps, actually. Yeah, pretty
Got
much.
It.
Yeah.
So, as you know, not just any testimonial is going to hit the mark. So I want you to tell me, which one do you think would be more effective? A, hire Angela, she's great. Or B, before hiring Angela, I was constantly felt stressed that something was slipping through the cracks, was spending way too many hours managing everything manually, and I knew I wasn't providing my clients the experience I wanted to be known for. I was initially nervous about the investment, but knew it would be worth it, and wow, was I right. She is worth every penny and more. She listened intently to what I envisioned for my business and brought amazing ideas to the table to help me elevate. I was also concerned about the time it would take to complete the project, but she made the process so easy and fun and provided me with amazing resources to launch quickly and feel confident in using my new systems. After working together, I feel way less stressed, am saving 10 hours a week, and feel relieved knowing that workflows are doing the hard work for me. I've also seen a huge increase in lead to client conversions, up to 20% in 3 months, as well as significant impact on my repeat clients' referrals and client happiness. Not only will she help save you time, ease your stress, and open more mental space and help you create a better client experience overall with her expertise, you'll find in the end a supportive friend who is 100% committed to your success. So as you can see from that, obviously we're probably not going to use a huge block of text like this, but the difference in how powerful those really in-depth and impactful testimonials by asking the right questions to curate these is going to be able to speak way more closely to your potential dream clients than a simple leave me a review. So I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do this going forward. One thing I also wanted to touch on was, I'm sure everybody here is familiar with the 4 buyer types methodology. If you're not, go Google it. It is so interesting. But I've kind of combined it into 2 different categories. You're amiable and expressive. They want to form relationships and see the emotional tie. And your assertive and analytical buyers want to see the data, the proof, and the facts and end results. So I used that testimonial that I shared on the screen before to show you how speaking to those different types of buyers with the different types of content that you're sharing really matter. Okay, so jumping in the how. The best timing to request, I would say, is going to be, actually, Trevor, maybe I could ask you one more time if you'd be lovely to share. I would love to know what service you are providing, if you could drop it in the chat. Are you event-based? Are you a photographer, wedding planner? Are you a social media manager, brand and web designer? Who do we have in our audience today?
Let's see. We got Sarah says she's a wedding planner. She's in wedding planning. Who else we got? Cindy is in maternity, newborn, and boudoir. Okay. We got some photographers. Oh, it's coming in quick. Sorry. Professional organizer, stationary garden coach. A couple more photographers, looks like. a VA, virtual assistant, social worker, and innovator, business consultant. We have quite a wide range.
Yes, amazing. I love it.
Fantastic.
Okay, thank you, Trevor. Okay, so I've broken it into 3 different categories. So you'll see we have event-based. So this is going to be more of, again, your photographers, your wedding planners, corporate events, etc. So I recommend 1 to 2 weeks after that event has happened, reaching out. So this way you're capturing them at the momentum and the high and the excitement of the work that you just produced together. If you are in the wedding industry, obviously we want to account for that honeymoon phase. So I would definitely recommend waiting a little bit longer, 3 to 4 weeks after, or after your album design process. For my goal-based service providers, so say you're a brand and web designer, etc., definitely want to initially get that feedback of client experience, again, that 1 to 2 weeks after, but I would love to see you take it a step further. And then in 3 to 6 months after time, whatever you usually see your clients are getting to see the ROI and the results of your time together, reach back out at that time period to really get those numerical results. So I would definitely recommend in your initial request, put that top of mind for them that you're going to be reaching out. So for them to start collecting that data and analyzing it to keep track of it. For my ongoing work type of providers, so my social media managers, VAs, again, in that experience, give it a little bit of time, that 4 to 6 weeks into working together. And then again, reaching out at that every 3 to 6 month time period to see how the experience is going and how you can improve, etc. Okay, so crafting the perfect ask. You want to send the initial request again after your time period and when you're going to initially ask, reiterate that excitement and appreciation for working together. State the impact. If you are a B2B type of service provider, they're probably going to know what the impact is and they're requesting reviews as well. But if you are working one-on-one with your B2C clients, say you're a wedding photographer, sometimes, they don't realize just how impactful those reviews can be. So letting them know that, it really helps potential clients in making purchasing decisions. Then this is one thing that I see a lot of people not utilizing, and I would love to. I don't know about you, but for me, if I get an email in my inbox and it's asking me for something, I'm mostly going to leave it unread, say I'm going to get to it later and keep forgetting about it. And then life just gets busy. So if you can set that expectation up front, if it's only going to take you 5 minutes, it will increase that time in getting a prompt response, I promise. So you could also consider incentivizing and letting them know you'd love to send them a sweet little gift before. And then this is also a great place also to just also plug in to share referral incentives if you have them, to get them in that mindset of keeping you top of mind. Feel free to screenshot this if you need it. Okay, so in order to get those reviews and those juicy prompts that we want and the answers to be able to attract the type of clients, instead of just getting, hire Angela, she's great. I'm going to go through in the next few slides the different questions that I would recommend asking. And this is going to vary depend on your industry. So use these as a starting place and then adjust them based on your service. So 1, I would definitely recommend using a Dubsado questionnaire if you're not, and I will explain why here in just a moment. But not only so you can automate in sending those follow-ups, but also to be able to utilize these prompts instead of just saying, here, go to this place and leave a review. Because if you're like me, if I get a blank page and I have to just type out what I'm thinking, it will take me forever. But if you are helping them and making the process easier and asking the right questions, it's going to be a lot easier for them to give you the type of answers that you're looking for. We can also in here link to those external sites. So at the end, they can just purely copy and paste to wherever you want to add those reviews, whether it be Google or some type of external directory. And then, of course, getting approval to share publicly. Okay, so diving into the prompts. Let me take a sip of water. Okay, so our first collection of questions is really to be able to get those relatable struggles and to be able to squash concerns. So our goal is externally to validate struggles and crush objections for potential clients, and internally so you can learn how you can improve messaging to further prevent concerns and speak to those struggles. So how did you know it was time to outsource? How are you feeling in your day-to-day life? So you'll see I have a few examples in here. Stress that things were slipping through the cracks. I was burnt out. I was wasn't seeing any conversions and knew I needed a rebrand. Was there anything you were specifically concerned about with prior to working together? Nervous about the investment, wasn't sure of what to expect, and concerned if the deliverables would come out as expected? And then were those resolved? If so, how? So you made the process easy. I never felt judged or confused. I trusted you completely. It was worth the investment, etc. So this way, whenever you are utilizing these in pieces of your content throughout your site or your social media, your potential client can see themselves in those struggles or what their potential concerns are working together and feel a lot more trusting of investing you and taking that next step. The next one is building connection, but also showcasing your unique differentiator. So there's not going to be a lot of difference between one service provider from the other and your competitors. So you really want to know what your potential clients and your dreamy clients are choosing you for, and how you can really double down in that marketing effort in how you speak to your clients and what you highlight on your consults and your website. So this is a really valuable piece of question that you always should be asking. The next is all around your signature process. So the goal here is externally to build a sense of confidence that the process will be easy and know what to expect to help them reach their end result, and internally learn what your clients love about your process to share about more publicly and what you can learn from it. So can you describe what the process was like working with me? Did you know what to expect prior? Did I provide the information you needed to prepare and feel confident in the process? What was your favorite part of working together? And what surprised you the most about this experience? So I love this bottom one, and people often miss this one, but it's really great in finding those little gaps that you don't think about to market yourself, but are really great to add throughout your content to whether it fill the gap or fill some type of need that somebody else might be looking for. The end result. So how did you feel about the final result of our work together? So this is going to be their initial excitement. They loved X deliverable. They know it's going to help them reach the goals that they're wanting to receive. And then obviously we can follow up for those project-based results 3 to 6 months down the line, but we want to catch them in that excitement period with just how excited they are for what you provided them. And then making it public. So what would you tell a friend who is considering working with me? So goal externally is to get verbatim what they would tell a potential client, to wrap up all of their thoughts and sharing, and then leaving a place for them to leave that review public and linking directly to your external Google My Business or XYZ directory. And you can make those really easy buttons within the Dubsado form. And I love this little tip here, this little piece of info, time-saving tip: copy and paste some of the answers from above. Thank you for your support. So that way it doesn't feel like a big ask from them. It's going to be really easy for them to go, now that they already see all the answers that they already laid out, and be able to now craft a really amazing external review. I added a little note here. You could also add some type of upload feature to Dubsado questionnaires. So if they wanted to do it via video, that's really great. So you can test in your content to see what drives more conversions, and obviously share on social media. And then we do not want to forget about maybe the not so great parts of the process. I see a lot of my clients that don't want to send a questionnaire asking for feedback, especially from those clients that they didn't have the best working experience with. But I highly suggest that you always do this, because it's not only just going to make you more resilient to gathering constructive feedback, but also just there's always some gold nugget that you can take from to know where you could have left the mark. So say they didn't have a great experience with communication. Well, you might need to, up your communication throughout your client projects. Everything is going to make you better, and it's just going to improve your business in tenfolds. Okay, so now that y'all seen the prompts and we've seen the first ask, I want you to make sure that we're not forgetting the follow-up. So I would definitely recommend in 7 to 10 days after you've made that initial ask that we are following up. People want to share their feedback. Trust me, life just gets busy. We want to make sure that after we get it, we are sending a thank you to show your appreciation for them taking time out of their day to leave you really thoughtful feedback, how it's going to impact your business. And again, we could consider incentivizing whether they knew about it before, or it's just a really nice surprise afterwards. And you can do this as automated or not. I personally, this is not my Starbucks card, but I do use a Starbucks gift card in mine. So it's just an automated process, but you could just write a really nice handwritten note or send something, a gift to them in the mail, etc., to share your appreciation. Okay, so for all of my friends out there who feel awkward sending it or you forget, this is how we're going to automate it to make sure that it's happening. And we're always going to be sending our review requests. So you can create an offboarding workflow within Dubsado to make it really easy to make sure that this always happens. So if you do want to have some type of customization on it and either approve it and you really, really do not want somebody to leave you a review, you can always go through and just pause the workflow. But here are the step-by-steps if you want to go implement it in your Dubsado. So sending that form in 7 days if it is not completed, and then sending that email after the form is completed. And then I noted here the same concept applies for your share your wins workflow. If you are a goals-based and you want to reach back out in X amount of months to get those particular results. I want to talk a little bit about how we can leverage these testimonials to maximize your marketing and sales efforts. So definitely use a mix to crush all of the different objections that you're typically getting. So the majority I'm seeing are either budget, time, ease of process, and then also showing proof of the different types of results that your service provides. I have 4 different categories here where I would definitely recommend implementing these. So your website, social media, proposal, and your lead emails. So in your website, I have a few recommendations on where I would suggest using the different prompts in different areas. So your absolute juiciest testimonials, you obviously want those front and center on your home page. Anything that's about you, how fun you were to work with, if you made your clients feel really comfortable and the process easy, add those to your about page. For any of your results, you're saving somebody time, you are increasing their ROI, you are giving them really amazing images to, that made you cry, for so many emotions. If you're a photographer, add those to your service and portfolio page. For anything process related, so those surprises and what you loved most about the process, make sure to add those to your service page or your experience page. And then those ones that are, you need to work with Angela, she was the absolute best, make sure to add those to your contact page to get those people over the edge and submit that inquiry. Then on your social media, I recommend using a mix between those curated feed posts that you're taking bits and pieces from their testimonial to curate a really impactful testimonial, and then those in progress screenshots from whenever you send a client something they need to revise or submit feedback to, and they send back perfection. I love it. This is amazing. Do not sleep on those. Those are gold mines. Make sure that you're screenshotting those, save them to an album in your phone, and implement those in your Instagram stories. Then in our proposal, depending on your brand, you might want to sprinkle them throughout your proposal in the different sections that you have, but definitely always recommend adding some at least under your investment section where your packages are. That way, if there's a sticker shot, if you didn't, talk about it during your consultation, once they see that follow-up of a great client experience that somebody had, the investment was worth it, they're going to feel immediately a little bit better about seeing that investment price. And then one I'm not seeing a lot of people use, but I always recommend to test to see if it helps with your conversions, is your lead emails. So this could be anything from you send an automated email immediately after somebody submits an inquiry that's saying about you, a little bit about, what drives people to come and work with you, having a place where you're adding so-and-so said X, Y, and Z. Sprinkle those throughout. Also in any of your follow-ups. So from your consultations that you're sending and they didn't book the call, sending a follow-up to say, if you want results like these, look what so-and-so had to say, please book a call. Or the same concept applies if you're also sending a reminder of a proposal if they didn't complete a proposal. Okay, so action items. I want to challenge you to complete by October 1. Add and update the following emails to your Dubsado: an initial request, a request follow-up, and a review received thank you. 2, add and update a client feedback questionnaire and share your results if you also are that project-based and you want to see those results. And then 3, add or update to your current workflow, or if you're needing to add a workflow to automate this process to make sure that you're doing it every single time. So reminder, send form if form not completed, and then send email if the form is completed. And you can utilize any type of those required approvals if you do want to customize it prior to it sending. And then make sure that you are using any of your current results that you have gotten from your clients, or any of those like juicy feedback in between your in progress service. Make sure to go and utilize those and put those in your content plan. Okay, and then as promised, I do have a few treats for you for attending. If you are new to Dubsado, hopefully not, but I have a 30% off code using Angela Munoz code for your first year or month. And then 50% off any of my templates. So I do work with a ton of photographers and wedding pros. So I have a proposal template, I have a wedding album order form, and then I have a client experience bundle that includes every email, form, workflow, video tutorial, and support that you need to DIY your setup. Or if you're more of a hands-off type of person, I have 20% off one of my done for you services. So I do full setups, VIP weeks to do any kind of revamps, or one-on-one intensive calls. And that is it. I cannot wait to see your conversions skyrocket with powerful testimonials. I would love to hop on back with Trevor and answer any Q&A that anybody has.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all that, Angela. That was really, really well done. We do have some questions, so let's go ahead and jump into the Q&A.
Yeah.
All right. So Carla was asking a little bit more about getting video testimonials. So I know you mentioned, right, the first thing I'm thinking of is adding a file uploader to your questionnaire, but do you have any other recommendations if there was maybe an alternative to doing something else, as far as getting a video? But what are your thoughts there?
Oh, well, I mean, you could do it a few ways. You could add that downloader so they can, tell them to make it really simple. Do it on your phone. Don't make it like a total production. Just say like you're talking to me on a phone call, or like if you want to do it a step ahead, or a step further, you could offer to get on a call with somebody and then, ask, curated questions that you want to ask and get it recorded. So I think it's up to you and your brand.
That's a really good idea. I didn't even think of that. Is that you could just do, Zoom or Google Meet kind of call and ask them. You could record them. I think that's really wise.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then Danielle was asking, how do you recommend getting them to also submit reviews to public sites like The Knot and Google? And I think you mentioned a little bit about that, right? So having those hyperlinked buttons on your form where they've already answered some of your questions on your feedback form, and then you're saying, hey, copy the above. But do you have any other recommendations? Is it maybe something like, and this is something that I've seen where folks are just sending an email and they may not necessarily be using a form, but they're just linking straight to Google reviews. What's your opinion on mixing in some of those kind of things to get them onto those external sites as well?
Yeah, I mean, definitely making it easy. If you want to also add it to like your canned email where they can choose one or the other, you want to meet them where they're at, right? So, having both of those options, and again, in that questionnaire if you want, or, incentives can always be great. So if, I'm motivated by a cup of coffee, so you could get me with giving a review if you offer me something that might be a nice sweet treat.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool. I have a question myself. I'm curious. So you were talking a lot about like, it's good to always ask for reviews, obviously, but it can be tough when like, hey, I think this client didn't have the best experience, and you're like, maybe I don't want to ask for a review from them, but part of your process is to automatically follow up with somebody, right? Do you think there's a middle ground there where you're still always sending reviews to everybody, but if you know someone didn't maybe have the best experience, you're not going to send the 7 to 10 day follow-up, or are you always sending that too? That's really my question, are you always doing that follow-up regardless of the person's situation?
I personally am, just because I'm a firm believer that I'm always wanting to improve myself, and there's always gold nuggets that I can find that can improve my services. So, if they did have a bad miscommunication. That's typically what it comes down to, right? There's always some sort of miscommunication, but I want to find out what it is. Is it something that, they found a gap that I might need to add to my frequently asked questions, or add somewhere in my website, or make sure that I'm talking about in my consultations? Those are just so invaluable. And I just think that it's like wasted opportunities to get that information. And you could also customize that email prior, like saying, if you verbally had like some type of situation with the client, say, I know that we didn't have like the best experience, or it might have been bumpy in the end. We got past it and we got to X, Y, and Z, but I still really value your opinion and would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
You can acknowledge it and recognize it. And I think people might appreciate that, that you still care what they have to say. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's a great point. I mean, I think that shows just a lot of professionalism. If you're like, hey, you know what, I can acknowledge the situation and I still want to hear what you have to say.
Exactly.
I think in my experience working with users, that's sometimes like that fear, not necessarily the fear of a bad experience, but just the fear of what someone's going to say. But I think the way you're framing it, and I think it's the truth, is no matter what they're going to tell you, it's always going to be helpful in one way or another. So
absolutely. And like I said, it's also going to just build your resiliency and make you a better person and a better service provider to be able to take that type of constructive criticism. And just knowing that you're going to go into business and you're not always going to have those gold star clients, right? Yeah. You're going to run into that. So the more you can just get used to that, like the better, provider and business owner you're going to become.
Yeah, no, totally. All right. I think those were all the questions that we had so far. If anybody else has anything else they want to ask Angela, please feel free to throw it in the chat. But otherwise, Angela, I want to thank you for taking the time and energy to walk us through all of your process for asking for testimonials. I thought that was really well done. And I think this is kind of, I wouldn't say taboo, but like I was saying, I feel the sentiment amongst some users being like, I don't really want to think about it because it's a little scary. But this is something that I think is really important for businesses. So it's great to talk about. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. And if anybody has any questions after this, feel free to connect with me. I think we will be sharing the slides afterwards. Yes?
Yes, totally. Okay, someone had actually asked that in the chats, and you and I hadn't discussed it prior, but I have your slides, and so I can make sure to attach them to the email that will automatically go out to everybody who is here. So I'll make sure to get that set up so everyone gets the slides as well.
Amazing. Yes. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, whether it's email or via Instagram DMs. I'm always an open book. So happy to support you however I can.
Fantastic. All right. Angela, it's been a pleasure. Everyone else, I really appreciate you all being taking the time to be here today, and we'll catch you on the very next webinar. All right.
Bye.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.